Good morning, everybody. Father Matthew here again. Hope you're all okay. I'm doing okay. But so we hear that there are going to be at least another 3 weeks of this lockdown. Um, I don't know about you, but I'm sort of getting used to it now. And in fact, I saw a post on Facebook yesterday from a friend of mine who's also a priest somewhere else who's saying that um, part of him is dreading, the end of the lockdown. I don't think it's because he really, really wants to be shut inside, but it's kind of like, what's it going to be like when sort of things go back to normal, and what will normal look like? And I suppose it's okay for people like me who are more introverted by nature. It's quite natural for me to kind of stay in when I can. The thing I noticed though is that not having the choice to sort of pop round and see people or whatever else makes it a bit more difficult. But I suppose for those who are more extroverted by nature, and thrive on being around people and everything else, it'll be much more difficult. So I suppose we all have to find our own way of coping. And part of me is already thinking about, well, when we go back to normal, what changes am I going to make in the way that I live my life? Because sometimes the way I do things is too tiring, and can get a bit too much sometimes. But I'm already thinking about, well, how can I sort of prepare myself for normal to return? How can I sort of build in routines that are going to sustain me rather than sort of tire me and all the rest of it? And so I'll be thinking a lot about that. I've had a couple of conversations to do with funerals recently, and I've got two funerals next week, and of course I've not done a funeral yet in this period, so it's going to be strange to see how that works. But the thing I noticed was how odd it was to kind of talk to people on the phone, because of course what normally happens is that I go and visit the families, and it's not just about deciding, which pieces of music are being played or whatever else. It's about that being together and spending time. And it was very strange to just kind of have the phone call and sort of go through, because it's quite hard to spend time with people on the telephone. Kind of one of you has to keep talking, but when you're face to face and in person, sometimes it's those times of quietness and just sharing the time together that really helps. So I found it very strange yesterday. I can say that I have got all the way through the electoral roll, ringing people who aren't online. I've not been ringing those of you who are online because, well, of course I had to prioritise those who aren't online, because you get these messages every day and everything else. So don't be upset if I haven't rung you, but do ring me if you would like to talk. But of course I'll keep doing these videos and things. And I think it was yesterday I was talking about the kind of process of recording and the whole issue of perfection, and sometimes the imperfections are where the beauty are. But yesterday, around all the other things, as I was working on a couple of songs, because all of the songs, even the ones I've shared, they're still works in progress, and I'm trying to get them exactly right. And recording's a very unforgiving process. What you do, how you sing, how you play, is kind of there forever. And one of the things I have to do is I have to listen to the songs as they are at the moment, and listen to them over and over again and spot the things that aren't right. And sometimes I have to re-record the vocal tracks, or sometimes I have to redo the whole thing. There was one of my songs yesterday where I was sort of tweaking it, and I almost gave up, to be honest. Part of me thought, oh, I'm never going to get this right. What's the point in bothering? And as I say, I almost gave up. And I thought, right, okay, well, I'm gonna go in and start again from scratch. And somebody suggested that I added in something to the song, so I thought, well, let's give it a go, which made it a bit longer and all that. So I had to redo the whole thing. And I was in that mood where I was like, what's the point in all this? You know, and it was later on in the evening that I was recording the vocals. And of course, you know, the voice tends to be a bit more tired in the evening, and possibly not the best time to get the best vocals. But I started from scratch and just went through and recorded the main vocals, did harmony vocals, and all the rest of it. And as I say, I was in the mood for just giving up and thinking, why bother? But then when I sort of did the sort of required fiddling with it and all of that, I listened back to it, and it was the best version I'd ever done. And as I said yesterday, you know, sometimes it's these normal things, you know, that we do that kind of teach us something about our lives and the way we do things. And if yesterday was about perfection and imperfection, well, today's video really is about perseverance, because it is sometimes when we most feel like giving up that the best things happen. Um, and I suppose in our spiritual lives, it's no different. Sometimes, you know, it's tempting to just give up, and I often think about what it'd be like to have a Sunday morning in bed, because I don't think I've had many of them since I was about 10 years old. Um, and you know, I wonder what it would be like. But then sometimes it's at those times of the most frustration and the most sort of tiredness with it all, that's when persevering and keeping going, even if you want to give up, becomes more important. So that's really my thoughts for today. I'm undecided whether I'm going to share more music with you, because I think I'm hoping to put together a CD, and well, if I do, I'd want you to pay for it and listen to it then. Whereas if you've already heard it all, then there wouldn't be any point. But there we are. But do look after yourselves and each other, and may God bless you. Bye for now.